and we are gonna get going. Can everyone hear? You good? I'm gonna go ahead and share and get moving. Okay, good. All right. Go ahead, Lindsay, if you want to kick us off.
All right. Hey, guys. So we are so excited to be here tonight to go over a topic that is near and dear to both of our hearts, and that is how to create engagement in your challenge groups and transition them into lifelong customers and coaches. Challenge groups are the lifeblood of our business, and it's something that I'm very passionate about. Look back to your beginning of your journey and you were a challenger, and how much did you appreciate your coach investing in you? So as we turn, most of us, from challengers to coaches, we have to remember to not lose sight of that. We are here to create an experience for them that is memorable and makes them want to continue with their journey. So tonight we are going to give you all the ins and outs of how we do this in our own business and organization. Okay, so a little bit about me. My name's Lindsay Maloney. I am a nanny by day and wifey by night. So I know I do not have kids yet, but I do nanny 3 young children who definitely keep me on my toes, and they're great practice. And I am the founder of Courageously Fierce Fitness. I have a team of amazing women behind me who actually, every single one of them were challengers in my group before they became coaches. So we have built that connection from the get-go, and that connection shines in our team. I am a 1-star diamond qualifying coach and a Success Club 5 All-Star.
Hey, I am obviously not Melanie Mitro. As you guys probably know, Mel is still traveling. She got home a little bit ago and is just enjoying some family time. So we are taking over for her. I am Heather Eberhart. My team is Courageous Strength. I am a Navy wife and a mom of 4. My oldest is 5, and I have 2-year-old triplets that are about to turn 3. So it's a little bit of a crazy house most days, but I just love having something that kind of gets me out of mom mode and makes me be a part of something so much bigger than myself. For all you stay-at-home moms, I'm sure you can relate to that. I am a 1-star diamond coach and a Success Club 5 All-Star as well. A couple of announcements. You guys may have seen Mel popped in and did a live video for you guys in the team page, and most of the details of the announcements are in that live video, but 3 things we really just wanted to remind you guys of tonight. The Team Spirit competition is still going on, and we are doing great. We are first for total overall Success Club points, but our Success Club point average is pretty low. So we really need to rally our teams and get some of those people that don't have Success Club points on the board. We really need to push them and get them some points on the board so we can bring that average up a little bit higher. Reminder that for those of you on Instagram and Twitter to be using these 2 hashtags to get our team spirit up a little bit. We're still a little low in that category also. Super Friday is coming up January 6th, and then there's a Dream Team training in Pittsburgh on Saturday, the very next day. More details coming for both of those, but just start marking your calendars and planning for those 2 events. So those are the only announcements. Again, Mel had a live video to check more announcements out if you need more information on any of those, but we're gonna dive right into the meat of this call.
Okay, so the thing I want to point out from the get-go with this is that all of these skills that we're about to share with you have been all found through trial and error. It's by constant reflection, and I will be the first person to tell you, I had some bomb groups. Like, I had some groups that just fell flat on their face. So I kind of took that experience and turned it into something better. So as a coach, it's so important to constantly be revising your challenge groups and making them amazing. You know, what works with some people don't work with the next. But it's just really important to keep, constantly revising. So in our team, we have a little, it's a lyric actually from a song that we all love. And it says, "Let me be your mirror, help you see a little bit clearer the light that shines from within." That's our job as a coach. And we are truly meeting a lot of these women or men at their lowest point. They need us, and we are their support system. So we have to remember that we are constantly in charge of making them motivated, supported, and inspired. So that's something that I have really tried to tweak within my own business to make sure that I'm giving them the best customer service as possible. So the first thing that I do is when I am talking with my new challengers is that challenger interview. I did 100% become the 21-day fix coach for a while because it was the comfortable program for me. So I was always trying to hook them up with that because it was what I knew. So I definitely had to start to get to know my challengers in a more meaningful way. And that's not just getting to know their likes and dislikes with nutrition and exercise. That's getting to know them, their families, their struggles, their deep-rooted issues that are going to hold them back from success. And then knowing that and supporting them in that, giving them outlets and tools. I Zoom chat I give them that option. I do Zoom chats, so 15, 20, 25-minute Zoom chats where we go over the nutrition plan assessment. We kind of go over and talk about what might work in their own life. And then I send them a huge file of recipes that I have compiled. And I say to them, hey, how do you feel about now implementing this into a meal plan? Do you need my help? And then I'll sit down and help them. They can tell me their recipes, and it's very easy for me to plug that in and show them how I would put it into a meal plan. So, one week of that, and they've got it going, but they at least are starting out successfully. I send them all a welcome card with an energized sample. The first week, I think it's really important to get to know each other. We do work through a preseason within my team. So if they are not putting up their, "Hey, this is who I am" posts from preseason day one, we do a fixate raffle because I think it's so important. They have got to form that community from the get-go. They have got to get to know each other so they can root each other on. And if they don't do that, it's going to flop. That's what they're there for, is to become friends. So in my own personal relationship with challengers, I find that voice messages are a key. Hearing my voice, the inflection of my voice. So on Facebook Messenger, I am sending them almost all voices messages so they can hear me. I'm sending them short personal developments where they, because I have got to know them as the challenger in the interview, I'm sending them little snippets of things that have helped me, Brendan Burchard, or, there's a million things out there. I always fall to him because I think he's amazing. But I send them little things like that. Within the group, we do fun incentives. And midway through week 1, we do a Shakeology assessment to make sure they're liking their Shakeology. I have definitely got to the end of challenge groups, and they finally admit to me that they've only drank it 2 times because they hated it. So that was my fault. I didn't ask them, and I needed to. So that's my job, to make sure that they're finding something in a way they enjoy drinking it, that they're drinking it. I see that you have a question, Erica. Do you have a sample set of questions you go over during the challenger interview? I do, and I can actually, when this video is uploaded, I have it on a visual. I will just post that to the Dream Team group. Because it is helpful. I use it for all, you're welcome. I use it for all of my challengers. I then, as they have gone through their challenge group, connect them with relatable coaches in the organization that they will be able to relate to. So, if they're a busy mom, guess what? Heather Eberhart's getting a ton of friend requests because I say, look at what they're doing. Because in my mind, if they're rocking it and they're doing well, I see them as a potential coach. So I want them to see other people doing exactly what they're doing. And then I want them to also see the coaching aspect. This is what they're kind of progressing on to next. And I love that. And it's really done wonders. Doing shout outs in the page, tagging them, telling, hey, you're so consistent. You're doing a great job. You worked out every morning. Just little things. It makes their day. I have noticed so many times I will put a comment on, shout someone out, and literally within 2 seconds, they've liked it. They saw it. That's just like everything to them. And we so oftentimes forget to do that. And then I do like a mid-group refresh with my challengers behind the scenes and just say, hey, like that's where they're starting to fall off with their nutrition. They've gotten used to it. They're getting lax. They're slacking off. And so we kind of revisit some new recipes, some ways that they can make it fresh and exciting again. And then we start planning for the next group off on week 3, we're starting to plan. I put them from group to group to group to group, because as we know, 30 days is not long enough for anyone to grasp a healthy lifestyle. It's just not. As much as they can go full force in the beginning, the magic is in keeping them supported into their next group. So we discuss their program. Most of the time I do suggest that they do the program again, because it's 30 days or maybe 60 days, maybe they'll be ready to move on to something different. But we talk about that, and I'm not afraid to ask them, do you want something different? That's not me being salesy. That's me making sure they're still motivated. Because, if you've done hammer and chisel one time, the second time you tap into it, you're probably not going to be as inspired as you were the first time. So, and then we talk about being a coach. I say, hey, you rocked it out in your challenge group. You did an amazing job. And we have already built that bond together and the connection. So it's easy to present that to them. So I do. And then they either go into their next group, or they go into our Believe and Achieve Academy. So I really believe in building that connection with challengers. Very easily goes into coaches, without a doubt. It's like the easiest way you can get a new coach is just supporting them, inspiring them, encouraging them, and there they are, they're ready to do it. They're ready to do it for someone else. So those are my steps, and that's a progression from day 1 to day 30, and then we just kind of do it all over again. And it's just something that's really worked for me. So Heather, you wanted to add?
Yeah, this is pretty much to a T. Lindsay and I came from pretty much the same team. We've had very, very similar influences over how we run our challenge groups. So this is really, this is how we run ours. I run mine on the Challenge Tracker app. Lindsay runs hers on Facebook. That is one distinction that I want you guys to understand. And that works better for her market, and the app works better for mine. I've asked time and time again, which is better, and this is just how it's working right now. One thing that I do a little bit differently is, obviously I have the app, but I run my app and my locker room group in parallel. And like Lindsay just said, she plans for right into the next group. So she'll have repeat challengers in her next Facebook challenge groups, whereas I rarely allow repeats in my app groups, because I was finding that there were so many repeats that my new people were getting lost in the app, and I wasn't paying enough attention to them. And so all of my repeats go into my locker room. They're only really allowed one challenge group with me in the app. And then I shove them into my locker room, where my energy level in my locker room is amazing. It's really just through the roof. And this is exactly what we were just talking about. It's trial and error. This is not how I used to run things in the beginning of my business. Obviously, we didn't have the app, but I personally love the app. It's quick. They can post their workouts, their shakeout, and then they're done. And I run it slightly differently, whereas in the app, I pretty much keep it to the basics. They do their check-ins, they're in and they're out, and that's all they really want to be there for. The locker room is where I kind of shove in a lot of my extras, and we'll talk about that here on one of the next slides. But I really start forming my coaches in the locker room group, whereas my app is for like my brand new, they're only going to get the basics through that first 30 days. And like Lindsay just said, it takes a couple rounds for them to really get this lifestyle squared away. It's not just a 30-day thing. And so I transition them right into that locker room group, which I hold on Facebook. So I kind of do it a little bit differently. But I mean, that's the beauty of challenge groups. They change all the time. Next year, I promise you, I won't be doing the same thing, because Lindsay and myself, we change things up every couple months. We figure out new things that keep working. And so that's kind of one thing we want you to take away, is to just try something. If it flops, it flops, but you have to figure out what's going to work and what isn't going to work. And so this is a great little step-by-step to go from. And if you're not implementing all of these, just choose one or two. Don't try to redo everything and completely like, oh, I'm going to do it like this, because that's super overwhelming. And I promise you, you're just going to quit by like day 3. So just choose one or two new things, and we'll talk about that in the call to actions at the end. But this is some great pieces of information that you can start implementing in your next challenge group. So this is like our daily content. Lindsay, if you want to go over this first, and then I'll add on.
Yes. So I find that so as an upline coach, and you have started to build a coach around, coaches below you on your team, the best thing you can do for yourself is to set requirements and standards for your coaches by telling them what you expect of them in challenge groups. I mean, how many times have you been in a challenge group with someone and you are about to pull your hair out because you're like, why aren't they doing anything? Well, did you tell them to? Did you give them a list of things that they were required to do? And this is something that we have definitely developed as a team to do for daily content for our challenge group. So every single day, you are putting that sweaty selfie in with value. And that's a tip. That's inspiration. That's not just like a, hey, look at me. Like I did, hammer and chisel day 57 today. It's like you are giving them something that they're going to read and they're going to take away into the rest of their day. Commenting on challenger posts within 24 hours. So since I do run all of my groups on Facebook, this is critical, because we all know, if you start to comment on the post, it brings them to the top. And there is nothing more annoying than going into a group and seeing last Wednesday's post when it's this Tuesday, and it's just not fair to anyone. So I, go in and just be prompt. And if you can't, that's totally fine. Things happen in life, but just say bless and release it and go on. Don't try to be crazy trying to catch up. Providing feedback and advice. And that's something where I had to have a total gut check with. I realized I was going through and just being like, you go girl, boom, like that a girl, rock star. And gosh, there was no value in that. They probably were so sick of hearing me say that. And I was going past things of people like saying like, I had, they would have their daily ratings, and at the bottom they'd be like, I had a terrible day. And I'm just like, great job, girl. That's so insensitive. And I was not taking the time to actually read the post and see what I could do to help them and provide feedback and advice for what they needed to make their next day better. So just taking the time. And, if as your groups get large and you have them with other coaches, focus on your people and then spend, 5 to 10 minutes on other people's challengers and then be done. But it's better to have quality over quantity. So just make sure you're doing that. The pinned post, I interact in that every single day. And guys, sometimes I copy and paste my answer and put it in a doc, and I'll go through and copy my answer from last time and post it in there. No one knows, anything you can do to kind of like make it a little easier on yourself. You know your answer, you know the content you want to give your challengers. So put it in a doc, and then next time it's there and you don't have to think about it. Scheduled live videos. We go in with our team and it's very interactive. We have the topics that we want to talk about, but they need to see the entire team, and they also don't need to see us all talking about the same thing for 10 videos in one night. So we try to make it something that they can actually digest, one video a night, or just kind of breaking it up a little bit. Shakeology shares. Every day, show them this is what I made for my Shakeology, and I try to like switch it up. I don't make the same chocolate shake every day. That's boring. I try to make fun things, and even if I just made my chocolate shake and I say it's Snickers or something, like I give them the recipe. I give them some ideas to try out, And then adding at least one recipe snack per day. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, something. I show them what I'm eating, because then they start sharing what they're eating. And it's so important that you are giving them examples of what they should be doing every single day. And that's daily content. That's not Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's every day, non-negotiable.
Yeah, absolutely. And this goes, I mean, with the app, with Facebook, whatever you're running your groups on, you have to be present. Guys, this is why we coach. This is, I mean, it blows my mind when coaches are like, oh, I can't get my challengers to switch into coaches, but you haven't checked in 2 weeks. Guys, this is the meat of what we do. You signed up so that you could bring so much hope for these people, and that you could live by example and just love on these people and be their biggest cheerleader, and yet you're not doing it. Okay, yes, it takes time, but you know what, if you're a good coach, which all of you are great coaches, you're working out every single day. And I know, I see your sweaty selfies, you're posting them on Facebook. It takes 2 extra minutes to copy that same image and plop it in your group and write something about how you're feeling, or that you couldn't make it all the way through the workout. Be honest with your people, okay? You can't just kind of flutter by and not encourage anyone. You signed up to be a coach to inspire. So inspire, okay? You're not there to just take a sweaty gym selfie just to prove that you did it. No, this isn't about you. This is about the other people that you're signing up so that they can change their lives. And that happens in the challenge groups. So really, it all comes down to showing that you're doing it first. You have to lead by example. So if you want more interaction in your challenge groups, you have to provide the leadership for that. You have to be there every single day, sweating it out with them, eating clean, drinking your Shakeology, commenting, encouraging, and being there when they have a really terrible day. And if you want that interaction, you have to be there first. You have to show up first. And that's really, I mean, this is the meat of what we do. You can't get anywhere else if you don't run successful challenge groups. And the only way to run that is for you to be there first, day in and day out. We say that inviting is a non-negotiable. This is really the non-negotiable, guys. You have to be there for the people that you've already brought on board. And I really just want to make sure that we get that point across. These are your future coaches. This is where it happens, but you have to show them how you want it to be done. Next, we wanted to talk about Shakeology a little bit. I know that some coaches are having trouble with people not sticking on Shakeology for longer than a month. So Lindsay, if you want to kick this one off.
Yes, so Shakeology was something I never focused on in my first couple challenge groups. Actually, I will say that it was summertime when I started to get creative with Shakeology, because I think at first I was having great success with my home directs. They were signing on the next month, no problem, and then they stopped. And then I got an influx of people canceling their Shakeology, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And I realized I am not making Shakeology fun. So I was just kind of adding it. It was just there. It was just this like idea, and it was not a focus in my group. And I think that that is where they were not valuing it. So something that I have really focused on doing is making Shakeology a key component in my challenge groups. And as you can see here at the top, I have a screenshot of my album, and I have 59 pictures in Shake Up Your Shakeology. I've given them a ton of examples. Those came off of Pinterest, but I took the time to make a folder on my computer. Every challenge group, I upload them in there. I asked my coaches to put some, pictures in there as well. And I have a spot where they can go find something different every day to try out. I think it's really important to show these visuals. And guys, I know they take some time, but I use PicMonkey and I make the visuals. I can tell you what, I have had 10 people in my last challenge group make the Snickers shake. It's no different than anything else I would have, made, but it caught their attention and they made it. So I also like to give them different examples of things they can do with Shakeology that's not the common thought. So I made this no-bake cookie pudding with Shakeology. Super easy, super tasty. I put this on my personal Facebook page, and one of my challengers who was really resistant to renewing her Shakeology got it again. She's like, I just want to try the no-bake cookie pudding. Like, that's all. And I'm like, and now she's a customer. She's been continuing it on. It was fun for her. So I make like the mug cakes. Tried to get creative for fall and made this apple spice cake with vanilla Shakeology. It's trial and error. Sometimes they taste like a sponge, but like you can, make them good and just get creative before you share with your challengers. This was a great example by one of the coaches on my team staff. She had made these strawberry Shakeology pancakes. I mean, how fun is that? I'll share Shakeology hacks, like, hey, freeze half your banana and put them in the freezer so it's easy. Just little things that they totally grasp onto. So we also provide the value about the nutritional benefits. Like, we'll ask them, how are you feeling different? I mean, that's the best thing about Shakeology is, in my personal life, is it's changed my digestive system completely. But are we even talking about that? Or are we just making it this thing that comes along with our challenge pack? So just adding that value so that they are utilizing it. And another thing that I think is so important to remember is that they sometimes are not out of their Shakeology by the time they need to renew it. So that's one thing I was coming into where I was checking back with them. So say, they order their challenge pack, it takes a week to get home, they start drinking it. By the time I was asking them if they need to renew it, it was not time. They had half a bag left. And so they didn't need more. And so they didn't get more the next time either. So we use these recipes as a way so they get through their Shakeology as they're in their first challenge group. Because as we all know, everyone is gung-ho about Shakeology in their first challenge group, so they need to order more when it's time. So just making sure they A, like it, and B, are using it up, making sure that they do need to order more. And I think that it's, really vital to give them that aspect from our point of view. Yeah, Angie, I will definitely give you that bar recipe. It's amazing. Okay, so did you want to add anything, Heather?
I mean, just when you're sharing your Shakeology recipes, like I know especially now, my kids and we have snotty noses like every other day. And it really, I mean, for me, Shakeology keeps us healthy. Those colds last a fraction of the time for us. Though, they really, it's just, I mean, you know how you feel. You've been drinking it for a while. So really, instead of just saying, oh, I had a vegan chocolate shake with banana, walnuts, and peanut butter today, say, hey, give the recipe, and then put a little snippet at the end and say, I'm so glad I have this. I've been feeling really cruddy lately, and I can't wait to start feeling healthy again. And just add those little snippets into your post. It takes 2 extra seconds, and show pictures of your kids drinking Shakeology. When my kids start feeling crappy, instead of giving them gummy vitamins like I used to and wasting money on those, I'll make an extra shake and give them all a quarter of a shake. And I share those pictures to give all the other moms some ideas. And there, just as Lindsay was saying, it helps you use up the Shakeology a little faster. So don't just say, Shake-O done, check mark, add value, okay? And that's the same with your workout posts, same with your Shakeology posts. You want to be leading by example again. For this slide, this is kind of just an extra little idea that both Lindsay and I do, and we do it in a variety of different ways. But really, it's just gaining some more momentum in your challenge group and keeping things fun. So Lindsay, I think you said you did bingo. You do that in week 1, correct?
Yeah, so I have been utilizing bingo to get them really interacting on their first week. So it's all the things that we're asking them to do anyway, just makes it a little bit more fun. And I know there are certain times where we think that we don't want to invest the time in making things like this. But guys, I've used this for months and months and months and months. It was so worth the half an hour I put into making it on PicMonkey. So, just little things that we're just asking them to post into the group. And then same thing, but just transformed into a different outlet is this point tracker that I do on week 2. And it's the same thing. The only difference is every day of the week, they all like do something different. So like Monday, it's Motivation Monday, and then Shakeology selfie, recipe share, water selfie, things like that. So it's kind of like they know what to expect and they're all doing it together, kind of a team building thing again. So, and then it's the bonus points too. Like you can get your challengers to post on their personal wall. That is golden for referrals. So that's one of the things I try to amp that up so that they do want those bonus points and they are posting on their personal wall because I think that that's critical. They like the support that they're getting from other people, but they also are getting the word out that like this is a thing and they're making sure that, you know, they're recruiting some people to our groups and letting them have some referrals. So
yeah, and I know I've tried several different ways of keeping points throughout the whole challenge group, of only doing it occasionally. And again, trial and error, guys. Just figure out what works for you. For me personally, I don't keep a point system for the entire challenge group. I just do a kind of a point challenge, like a rally halfway through. So this is a good way to kind of end it strong too, because everyone's super gung-ho and super amped in the beginning of the challenge group, and then you start losing that momentum. So I add in this point challenge during either week 2 or week 3 to really just add that extra incentive and give away some great prizes and get them to start sharing again. And it's really great. You'll start seeing the people sharing those motivational quotes, and you can start to see the leadership coming out in the challengers and seeing those prospective coaches. So this is really, I don't do points throughout the whole thing, but I've tried it before and I've had success both ways. This is just what's working now. So, I mean, there's no telling what I'll be doing 6 months from now, but just try it out. Put in a half an hour, like Lindsay said, and make something cool like this. It really gets people excited. And then I use just a Google spreadsheet to track their points, and I just make a new one for every challenge group and just post the link for them. That's how they keep track of their points. And it's totally by honor system. And then we send out prizes whenever they win the next week. So it's just super simple, but just find something that works for you. It's really a lot of fun to see the leadership start coming out in the challengers.
So Elena asked, what kind of prizes do you use for your winners? And that's something I was actually just going to bring up, is that I am cheap. I go to Old Navy and I find something for $2.50. I actually just bought a ton of shirts at Walmart for $1 a piece that were motivational workout shirts. And it was the cheapest prize ever. I have fallen in the trap of literally putting myself under by promising people prizes that I couldn't afford, or going above and beyond thinking I was doing a favor to anyone, and it wasn't. They don't care. They could literally get a card in the mail and they think it's amazing. I mean, so I go cheap. I am bargain shopper McGee. I go to every store that might have workout clothes and I stock up when I find it, and I have my closet's full of like motivational workout tanks that I get at TJ Maxx and Marshalls and Old Navy and anywhere you could find it. So do it on your own budget. Don't feel like you have to impress anyone, because they appreciate anything at all. I have really found. The challenger who got the $1 t-shirt has no idea it was $1. She was like, oh my gosh, that's so nice. Like, look, she spent $15 on me. Not at all. So just, so absolutely just go for it on your budget. And then this is something that a teammate came up with, Simon says, and this is fun too. So we put these into the groups as needed, and it gives them a way to kind of just like pop in. So it's not at the same time every day. We might put something in at night if we see them kind of going a little stale and not posting a lot. We'll put, and it gives them a way to interact too. So I really like the one where they shout out a fellow challenger who inspires them. I think that's a great way to build that bond. Goal outfit, show us what you're eating, show us your favorite muscle, post your empty Shakeology cup and what was your recipe. Just little things you can do to keep it interactive. And then I just say to them, whoever participates the most that week, kind of like it's a little something. But
Yeah, the Simon Says thing is great. I love that. And yeah, it's just an as needed thing. I think that's an awesome idea and super easy to make. This is something that I actually started implementing right after Summit, I think, this year, and it has really been a game changer, guys. It takes time. I will warn you, it takes time. But once you start getting into the routine of thinking like this, it it really is a game changer. So think about your curriculum or the post that you're using and the language that you're using when you post them. Are you saying you or are you saying your team? So once you start speaking in terms of you and your team and what you're doing, the mentality shifts in your challengers and thinking that, oh, they want to be a part of your team, not just a challenger on the side. And so I don't use stock Google images anymore. And yes, it takes time, guys, but I don't. I create all of my own on PicMonkey that either have my Courageous Strength logo watermarked at the bottom, or I use pictures of myself, and this is all pictures of my team. So I get people to send me their sweaty selfies, their Flex Friday pictures, and I make images like this for Flaunt It Friday or Flex Friday or whatever you guys call it. Show your face. The more you show your face in your team's face, in your team's logo, they are going to start thinking in terms of the team instead of just you. And the other thing I post a ton of, I mean, weekly, like twice a week, I post transformation pictures all the time. You have to constantly be reminding them of their goals and what they're shooting for. And the whole reason we do these challenge groups is to get them results. So you need to show them results, right? You can't just expect them to shoot for something that they don't know what they're shooting for. So you need to show them, give them a visual of what results look like. Your own results, your team's results, it doesn't matter. Past challengers, ask somebody if they had a really great transformation, say, hey, can I make a slide for my next challenge group of your transformation? I think your story is really great. I've had countless people say, yeah, that's fantastic. I would love for you to do that. So always be showing your face, your team's faces, and like, so this like water selfie, we play water tag every once in a while in our challenge groups usually, and I'll, do my selfie, or I'll have one of my coaches make one like that with their selfie. So make your face a part of all of your posts or your team's faces. And then keep doing those videos. They need to hear the excitement in your voice. They need to hear how passionate you are. But really, don't just take a picture of your Shaco like this way. Put it up against your face and take it. They want to see you. They want that team atmosphere. And really, when you're talking about those pin posts, say, the ladies on my team, la 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 la. Like, go on about your team and the atmosphere. And it really, I mean, I don't want to say it like brainwashes them, but they start thinking in terms of the team, and that then they want to be a part of that. They want that culture instead of just being on the sidelines. Okay, so this, yeah, Alicia, so I have a couple stock videos that I made, and I took the time and I made a couple different recipes of Shakeology one day and videotaped them and put them on my YouTube channel, and then I just post the link. And I did the same for like my why video and my transformation story, and I use those over and over again. But this is where I use my locker room in parallel with the app. So the app, you can't do the videos. But on day one, when I enter people into the app, I give them the link for my Facebook locker room group, which has all of my past challengers. They only delete themselves when they want to be deleted. I don't ever take anyone out of that. And I don't do pin posts in the locker room. It's purely on their own if they want to check in or not. But I give them that link on day one, so they can run either the app or in the locker room group. And the locker room group is where I do my live meal prep videos, or I pop in with fall recipes or whatever. That's where I do most of my live videos. But if I have something like month after month or week after week that I'm seeing I need a video for in the app, I'll just take, a half an hour out of my day and make a new Shakeology recipe and put it on my YouTube channel, or make a new video about meal prepping or how you schedule out your meal plan. So I kind of do it by what I see I need, but that's how I run my locker room and my app in parallel. And I hope that answered your question. The last thing we wanted to talk about here that Lindsay's going to cover is the next steps. I mean, really and truly, we want these challengers to become coaches.
Okay, so this is very important to understand that this is paired along with a lot of conversation behind the scenes. So this is almost kind of like a little reminder or another little nudge for them to become a coach or think about some of these things that we're presenting them with. So I've already talked to them about this. I'm not relying on this post to make them want to become a coach because that's not going to get you anywhere. Very unsuccessful. So, you know, we do your journey has just begun. Let's talk about the next step. And that's transition to another challenge group. Join our locker room group of past challengers. I'm ready for a new program, or I'm interested in becoming a coach. Let's chat. And it just gives them that little nudge. I mean, to think about these things on their own time and then, you know, get back to you. So we do this on the last day of the challenge group, and then they're kind of like call to action is to respond, and that conversation can get other things like, hey, I'm ready for a new program. Has anybody tried size? Or has anyone done hammer and chisel? And then those people in the group can give them advice and just things like that. So I do see conversation going on between the challengers when this is put up, which is really nice. So don't rely on this to get new coaches. Have that connection behind the scenes, but it's a nice little thing to throw up at the end.
And then the last thing we really just wanted to provide you with was some call to action points. I know there were a lot of good pointers here and there, a lot of things you could be adding in. And I know I said it before, don't try to flip everything upside down all at once. Just a few things to try. Just try one new thing this week or one new thing next challenge group. But I really encourage you guys to kick out one of those stock images and put your face or your team's face on one of those images when you're playing water tag or when you're doing a motivational quote. Really get you and your team into that curriculum so that they can really see that atmosphere. And then I know a lot of you are scared to go live or make a video. Just go for it. I mean, listen, I am in a hoodie and a freaking headband 99% of every day. I have 4 little kids. I don't have time for makeup and hair and nails. Like that's not my thing. Okay. So this is what you see day in and day out in my live videos, and this is what my team gets. Okay. So just be you. Don't be afraid. Go live. They really, I mean, they signed up with you for a reason. So show them you. It's really, really important. And then revisit that list of dailies, your non-negotiables, and really just put in the time, guys. Share your story, share your journey, lead by example. And then create some fun interaction in your coming weeks. If you don't want to do a point system the whole time, just add it in for 1 week, or send somebody a card, or do something that you haven't done before that makes it fun again. Does anybody have any other questions? Feel free to pop up in the chat if anyone has any more. I think we've tried to answer most as we go along. Oh, water tag, it's really fun. So in the app, this is how I do it. I don't know if Lindsay, I think you do the Simon Says one too. But so in the app, I will just say, hey, I usually do it on like a Monday or Tuesday to start the week out. I say, tag, you're it. Take a selfie of you drinking your water, and I'll tag 2 people from in the group just at random. And then when they post their selfie, they have to tag somebody else in the group. And so they continually keep tagging until everybody goes around and takes a picture of them chugging water, just to kind of help remind everyone that water is important too in a fun way. Do you do it different, Linz?
That's exactly how we do it. And
yeah.
Excuse me, something else you can do too, do it on your Facebook page. Tag somebody on your challenge group, they will tag somebody in their network. It just keeps going, and that's a cool way to kind of get other people interested in your challenge groups too. So I've noticed, like, if I tag a challenger, they're like, oh cool, like my coach is tagging me, and they'll tag somebody that's not even related to us at all. So
Yeah, if you can get people posting on their walls in any way, shape, or form about what they're doing, that's gold. I actually have that as a post in the final week of our curriculum right now that just encourages them to be brave and post, and they don't have to share their transformation story, but just let people know what they're doing, how they're feeling, like something about their journey. So add that in if you don't already have it, but getting them to post on their wall is huge.
Advice for challengers who are timid about posting. So something that I've been working on recently is remembering that I'm a coach first, and a challenge group is not for everyone. So their journey should start behind the scenes, and if it needs to stay behind the scenes the whole time, awesome. I mean, it's not keeping them back from their results if they're not participating in the group. And honestly, if their self-esteem is low, they're not into it. That's causing anxiety for them. So I have actually, this is the first time this has happened, but I have 5 people I'm working with that are not even involved in a challenge group, and they bought a challenge pack. They're working through all the steps, but they have no desire to be around other people right now doing it. They want to be on the journey with me. And so that's kind of what we have to gut check ourselves as coaches. It's like, are we really minded towards only doing challenge groups, or can we actually give them the same resources and tools just coming from us? So that's something, honestly, unfortunately, I have left people in the dust before on accident because I forgot about them, or just for telling myself that they weren't committed enough, they weren't ready. Yeah, they were. I needed to change my tactics and my mindset. So something to think about as you're working with your challengers.
Yeah, I really, Corey, I've definitely left a couple people behind. And that's one thing that when I'm going through getting to know them, I ask them right away, like what the best method to keep in touch with them. If they're not into Facebook, I obviously have the app, but some people don't even, I've had people who are like, I don't want to put another app on my phone. So I literally, right now, I have about 5 people that I text at 5 a.m. every morning with my sweaty selfie. And that's what they want. Like they're not in a challenge group. They're not in the app. They want me to send them a sweaty selfie at 5 a.m. when I get done with my workout. And that's all they need. They are like golden for the rest of the day. If they see that I got my workout in because they're not on Facebook or whatever, getting that personal text message from me for some reason is like golden for them. And so that's how we roll. Like those 5 people and I, we've been doing that for months, and I'm not messing with that system. So that really comes back to getting to know your challengers. So add that into your pre-challenge group interview, or just when you're chatting with them, really just say, hey, do you text, or just get to know how they like to respond. And you really have to personalize for certain people. And I've also had people that didn't like to post and were timid about posting, and I kind of just wrote them off thinking, oh, you're not in it enough. And she came back like 3 months later and was like, hey, I lost 30 pounds. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like she was totally rocking it out on her own. Some people are just like that. So really just get to know them and figure out how you can communicate with them that's different than Facebook or the app.
Do you see any other questions? I wanted to say really quick, if you guys are having, and this is silly as it sounds, if you guys are having a hard time keeping consistent, guys, we all have planners. Mark it in your planner. Like make it a non-negotiable to yourself that you put a star at the top. That means that you did all of your stuff that you're supposed to add in. Seeing it on a calendar and realizing where you are falling short. If you're only doing it 2 out of 7 days, or even 5 out of 7 days, that's not enough. So you have to just really make sure you're keeping it visible to yourself what you're doing in your challenge group. So that's kind of something that helps when I was kind of falling short. And challenge groups can be a blessing, or you can look at it as something that's weighing you down, or it's your blessing. No matter where you are in life, we get busy. We have things come up. We have tragedies. We have life events. We have changes. We're about to go through a huge move. We are in a state right now, my husband and I, that we have no idea what's going on. My challenge groups are my safe place, and I allow that to be my safe place. I allow that to be my stability in life and my positivity. So it is what you make it. The visualization is whatever you decide it's going to be. So
Yeah. I mean, it really is. It's the meat of what we're doing. You guys have to put the effort in, or you're not going to reap the rewards. That it's the potential sitting there. You guys just have to tap into it. We don't want to hold you any longer than we already have. If nobody has any more questions, we'll let you guys go, and we'll get the recording up as soon as we can. You're welcome. Everybody have an awesome night and a great week. You're welcome. All right. Bye, ladies.